petrol stations that we have in Uganda. So you can find at one petrol station, you find fuel at 5,500, another petrol station at 5,449, something like that. The prices differ a little bit. So when we have the fuel being given to us from our own country without it being imported, do you think the prices will get better? Will they balance? Or
I think the fuel deforestation is another discussion that also has its own discussion, because it depends on the brand. As I told you, UNOC is not going to come into retail. So the retail market is still open to competition. Because at the end of the day, UNOC will give this oil marketing company a good rate. So if I want to get less profit and I sell more, I can cut the price. So the competition down is not, the government doesn't want to look so much. But in case you go so much high, the government will not go. We have given you this. Like this, how do the price come from 4,000 to 7,000? That's now how the government can come in and say, look here, we have the facility, we have everything, we have the product. You cannot say there is shortage in supply. So the government wants to protect citizens from that kind of high-rocketing pricing. But this difference of 100, at times it's competition in any business.
Yes.
I can buy this cup somewhere at 5,000.
Yes.
Then you go and they sell it at 4,000 somewhere. But the same product, same quantity. So it's a competition. That one is going to be left.
So where is this policy leaving the middlemen who usually are called the agents?
Yeah, it is actually, but of course the president's statement was clear. He talked about the middlemen. And it is actually one of the reasons why this act is coming. Because, you know, in the whole world, middlemen control. When you give them an opportunity, they can control you. So I think middlemen are going to a bit, but they will also try to find their way into UNOC, maybe. But the president was clear, I am cutting this because we have been having almost, okay, the president's statement was we've been cheated for some time. The president gave people mandate to manage the product supply. And the people, according to the president's statement, and the people used it for their own selfish, that is the statement. But he also tried to calculate the differences in terms of what the dealers get from Kenya and what they sell to Uganda. And he tried to show the percentages that they are getting a lot of percentage. Because you see, before the policy came in, the government, of course, made an investigation on what it can happen, what are these dealers getting, where are they getting the fuel, at what price. Then they also came to Uganda and looked at the price we are getting here. The president showed a difference. See, there is a very big percentage where these dealers are getting a lot of profit on the cost of Ugandans.
So it means we would be buying a liter at 2,000?
Yes, not 2,000. The difference, let me tell you, in fuel, even if the difference is 200, it's a very big difference in business.
Yes.
Because 200 shilling times 10,000 liters, if you take, that's almost 2 million.
That is a lot of money.
You get? So it's any different, even if, by the way, fuel, bulk fuel, even if a difference of 50 shilling, to people who consumes 100,000 liters. People consume fuel. These taxes, I don't know if you move with your car so much, but you consume, I think me every day I consume more than 100,000, 200,000.
With the jam we have in Uganda.
I calculated whereby my cost of fuel is almost 3 million per month.
Wow.
4 million per month.
Yes.
It can, now if in Uganda we have a population of over maybe 20 million people who are moving on a daily basis, we have trucks. How many fuel is consumed? I think Uganda consumes billion liters of fuel per year.
Because we have so many trucks.
So any any slight change means a lot to Ugandans and our businesses. So if the government is true to what they are doing, we are really going to enjoy.
We are going to enjoy. Okay, thank you so much. So do you think when we start receiving fuel from UNOC on our own market, aren't you people worried about the quality or the quantity of the fuel that is going to be given to you?
I want to
I rephrase the question.
Yes.
Okay, so the government is going to be supplying all the petrol stations. So usually when someone has
Not
a car,
all the petrol stations.
most of them.
The government is going to supply the selected and qualified oil marketing companies.
Those selected ones will supply the others.
The others.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are times when someone is driving a car, the person will say, I'll not get from Shell, I'll get from Starbucks, because Starbucks, I prefer their fuel to Shell. Or you say, I'll prefer Total to Shell, that difference. So the fuel that is going to be brought, aren't the oil companies worried about the quality changing in any way of the fuel?
You know, we used to think that every fuel, there are some, I will not say the name,
Okay.
but we used to think that the good fuel comes from some petroleum companies and others are selling fake. So I buy my car for 40 million and I fuel in the funny station. No. So I used to fuel maybe from Shell. But I want to tell you that in Kenya, all the fuel passes from Kenyan pipeline. All the fuel you see in the truck. So there's no difference.
So there's no difference.
The
It's
difference
just
is
a
the
mentality.
brand. No, it's not the mentality. These people have built their brand for long. Their systems and processes, the customer service, the brand equity, is so powerful. Even the services, when you reach a Total, you can really see how people handle you.
Your windshield is cleaned, what can I get for
clean.
you? Yes.
That comes with cost.
Yes.
And that's why their fuel are expensive. So you not just come and you put your petrol station there, you don't train workers, and you think you will sell like Total or Starbucks. They have invested in their brand equity. So the differences are mostly the brand equity. But the products that comes are almost the same. What makes it different is, you know, in marketing there's what we call product differentiation. If you're a smart TV, what makes you different from another TV?
Another TV, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's now when you do proper organized programs, that's when you train your workers, you become so smart. So it's the same as what exactly these petroleum companies do. They get these products and now they find a way how they do product differentiation. And now they sit down in their offices, how do we become different? Can we bring in the addictive of V-Power? It's just an addictive they put in fuel. And yes, so that the people with powerful vehicles, but they make research. They partner with these companies that make those vehicles, they do what. They really invest in the research and processes. So by the time you reach at them, they are ready to give you best price. Even if they are selling at high price, you feel it is, worth it. But you enter in some retail stations, the workers are dirty, the forecourt is dirty. You know, fuel is a product, but on the other way is a service. Do you see any product? Do you see fuel when you're at the station? What do you see?
The pumps and the workers.
Is that a product or a service?
It's a service.
So people doesn't know that fuel is a product and service. I come to take a product, but I don't see it. So what I see is a service. Oh, welcome, the communication, the ambience, the environment. So that one gives an advantage to these big companies to do well. So your question, I put it clear to you that all the fuel you see coming, these companies do a lot of processes. So UNOC will partner with Kenyan Pipeline. So when it comes to quality controls, from the receiving end is always managed.
Yes.
But now, the problem is the selling end.
The selling end.
Where these oil marketing companies, their workers abuses people, they are dirty, they are what. Some, let me tell you, also do what they also call adulteration, where fuel are mixed. You know, people can mix that paraffin with diesel and you don't know, and the vehicle moves. So there are people who do adulteration, and there are many. By the way, the reason why when I was reading the reason why Mahadhi Infra, that Lake Victoria logistic is coming to avoid this, there's a lot of trucks, according to when I was reading the reasons why they are forming Mahadhi Infra, to avoid adulterations and cartel on the road. Some of the fuel trucks mixes and they deliver. You can buy fuel, you can buy your fuel from here, maybe from Starbucks, and it is quality. These truck drivers on the way, they mix.
They mix, and before you know it.
Before you know it, they go, you see some fuel, and they mix on a percentage where you cannot even know.
You can't tell.
So it happens, but the government also have to put a system to manage it, because the UNBS, that's why now you see UNBS comes in and try to make sure that these pumps are calibrated. They try to make sure that you supply quality. UNBS comes in, and most of those petrol stations and their pumps. At times also pumps still. You buy a fuel of 100, kumbe they have given you 80. So, but UNBS tries every month to look at those stations and try to see if these pumps are calibrated and they are giving out the right product to consumers. So the key issue is these dealers. They still do a lot of politics, but at times it is managed.
Okay, thank you so much. So this policy that has been put out, what are the long-term implications on the fuel company in Uganda?
I think when they have understood and they work well with UNOC, because Ugandan future is we have also discovered our own fuel, and two, this UNOC is going to look in a bigger picture. Uganda is going to have very powerful storage facilities, where we actually also supply
other countries. That is good.
Because we are near the port. So this side of Congo, this side of Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, it is easy to get fuel from here and go to South Sudan. So I believe if we partner well with UNOC as oil marketing company, there is a lot of benefits in the long run. It may disturb us in the beginning, but there is a lot of opportunities. Since also Uganda is going to discover its own fuel, and in the long run they will also have to sell it. So if you are well positioned as an oil marketing company, I believe there is an opportunity in the long run.
Oh, well. So how would you suggest the government to improve the policy to ensure a stable and effective fuel market?
Okay, you see, improvement is over time, but also training and workshops. It is just about, we don't read in Africa, we speak out of non-research. We are emotional. So the government has to put in a system of mostly workshop, training these people, but also trying to make sure that they involve the oil marketing companies in any process they are doing, to see, because you cannot be the seller and you are not with those buying the product. Government is now coming to business. So if you are coming to business, you must make sure that where you are selling your product well. So I believe that the government just needs to create a mutual, organized and powerful relationship with this oil marketing company. I believe they will now easily accept the policies, the trainings, and also try to avoid some errors in terms of adulteration and understanding what the challenges of these people. So UNOC has to work hand in hand with the oil marketing company. on a daily basis. Yes.
So what role do you see the petrol station playing in the future of the fuel industry in Uganda?
You know, these people have been, let me tell you, in 2006, that's when I started my university. I entered the university. We used to move near I come from Zimbabwe. So we used to move, and you find in most petrol stations there is no fuel. Because by then the biggest bulk suppliers were Total and Shell.
Yes.
And they could, I mean, stop on Friday. Saturday they don't work on Sunday. So if you have a station, you wait on Monday to get the bulk fuel. When these companies like Starbucks came in, they really changed. They even loaded at night. There's no weekend. And people in the villages started getting fuel. Let me tell you, fuel is a big factor in economics. It adds a lot of economic sense. Whatever we do in terms of movement, product movement, machinery movement, factories, manufacturing, it is diesel and petrol. So when the petroleum companies and stations are near the people, the economics of the country improves in terms of growth and development. So I believe that petrol stations in Uganda, if they are well managed and people do the right thing, let me tell you, I see people saying, hey, there are a lot of petrol stations. Uganda, we have none. Let me tell you, if you travel, you realize that we are still on zero growth.
Really?
In terms of, yes, I mean, what have we done in Uganda? If you compare, I'm trying to compare.
other countries.
You know, if you have not moved, you may take my statement for granted. But if you travel and you go to Dubai and you go to these first-class countries like China, I moved from Guangzhou to a place called Zhengzhou in 7 hours. But that place, when I calculated the kilometers, was 1,463 kilometers. A distance from maybe Mombasa to Bujumbura in 7 hours. It means that people can move and move freely in terms of, that is through electric train. In towns of Guangzhou, people sleep like in Masaka and they work in Kampala. Just 30 minutes you are through metro trains, you are in Kampala. There is a lot we have not done as Uganda in terms of growth. So any opportunity we have, like petroleum that we have got, I think it's a big opportunity for growth.
Okay, I have one last question for you before we conclude today. So after all this, 20% is going to be removed from the agents that have been helping with the fuel supply. Will, excuse me, let me rephrase that question. After cutting off 20% that agents were getting, will it be reflected?
Yeah, automatically. When the government comes in and they say we're going to supply, their key issue is, you see, the president's issue is clear, it's citizenry. The president looks at the citizen. Everything the president, it is because we give him the mandate as citizens to be our leader. So anything the president has to do, he looks at how the citizens gains, but also the economy as Uganda. It is twice, developing the country, but also protecting the citizens from being cheated. So whatever you see UNOC is going to do is in that line of that principle. And I don't want to go deep into that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. So do you have any closing remarks for our viewers today before I...
Yeah, I'm excited to. I hope I have given them the right. I mean, they have enjoyed the show. I hope you will give me another opportunity to explain the developments as going forward. However, we are going to Christmas, and it's a period where people overspend, where youth think that it is the end of the world, where some families disintegrate because they have not bought for them clothes and they have not eaten chicken and chips. But
And
I want
soda.
to inform youth and parents that next year school fees are coming and we need also to invest. We have not, Uganda and our families have not invested. People are killing themselves on 10,000
Hand to
shillings.
mouth.
Yes. I believe we are still poor to do a lot of extravagance. If you've kept your money, buy a goat, buy a sheep, buy a cow, in the next 2 years, you will thank me. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Katerega, for joining us today here at Smart TV, and from us here at Smart TV to our lovely viewers, thank you for keeping it on Smart TV since morning. We love you so much. Have yourself a lovely day. Stay blessed.